Let's talk about chapel. It happens every day and you have to get 55 credits a semester. Chapel doesn't have to be a burden. Make the most of it, don't procrastinate.
What people don't realize is that living in a dorm and being in this college life is something that everyone is struggling with and everyone's getting used to. So the art of struggling is something that you can use at ACU to make friends and to use to your benefit. So just embrace the struggle, embrace the new college career, and invite people to join you.
Get to know your roommate and your roommate's schedule so that y'all aren't competing for space or time, or your music's on when they're trying to study. So communication's a really big deal. Get to know the people around you. Don't be loud after midnight, and really make the most out of your dorm experience because your best friends are literally across the hall.
I wish I had known more about getting involved with student media labs. If you didn't already know, everyone in our department has to do at least 2 semesters in a student media lab. If you want to get involved, start early, ask questions, and figure out how you can get your foot in the door. Once you learn your options, figure out where you fit in, and ask questions, then you'll have a great experience in student media labs.
What I learned was that you really should do an internship because it gives you concrete experience that you can put on your resume, and that's really good. So it's really good that our department requires it. But what I also found is that you can tailor your internship to closely align with what your goals are for the career field. Think about your internship early and tailor it to what you want to do, and don't worry about the portfolio because it's actually going to do a lot of good for you.
Check the syllabus. You know, the syllabus, that giant document you get at the beginning of the semester that details everything you have to do for the next 6 weeks? Yeah, look at that frequently and keep track of it. That way, it'll save you so much confusion and so many late assignment grades. Create a system and stick to it, because being organized during college really will save you so much headache and keep you sane. Trust me.
So being attentive is really important. It will help you follow along with your professor during class, and you can catch some information that your professor tells you that won't necessarily be in a textbook or in the class notes, but will be on the exam.
I could tell you there's no quicker way to offend and upset the upperclassmen than not following a certain rule of etiquette in the library. The bottom floor, which is the basement, is a silent zone. You know, turn off your phone, don't make any noise or you're gonna get some death glares. The first floor, where it has Starbucks and just the kind of the common area, is a active zone. So you can converse, talk with your friends, but just use, you know, indoor voices. The top floor is a quiet zone, which means you can communicate and talk with your group, but don't be loud and don't be using your computer where people can hear. You can do lots of things in the library, and there's a place to do all those, whether it's, you know, napping, studying, working with a group, or getting some coffee. But just don't try to get attention to yourself and follow the posted rules, and you'll be fine.
There was one resource and a couple other things that I really wish I would have known about coming into school, and those were the resource centers that ACU offers students. These resource centers include the Writing Center, the Speaking Center, the Career Center, Health Center, all of these which are pretty much free to students, if not at a discounted price, specifically for you. So I highly suggest making friends, doing all of that, but also find these resources and utilize them.
So I didn't really do social media much. During the spring of my junior year, though, I was cast in Life on the Hill. So all of a sudden, I was required to post on Twitter and Instagram 5 to 7 times a day. And one thing I realized is that we talk a lot about the harms of social media, you know, that you hear horror stories of what happens if, you know, you post something you shouldn't. But what I realized when I went through my accounts is there was nothing really bad on them, there was nothing harmful, but there wasn't anything very helpful either. So something I started doing was retweeting relevant links to articles in the industry that I'm interested in working in, and following people in my field who are prominent. And what I learned is that social media can be a really helpful tool as far as networking and learning what type of career you'd like to have in the future.
Advice that I would give to an incoming freshman is to really take the chance to get to know your professors outside of the classroom, because they're really interested in helping you out and helping you succeed and do as well as you can in your class. So after maybe the first class,
go ahead and introduce yourself to them, get their office hours and email address, best method of contacting them, and don't hesitate to contact them if you're stuck on a problem or need help on a project, because they really want to help you out, and I promise it will really make your experience awesome.
So, JMC professors, really they're not as scary as you might think right now. I know walking into your first day of class being taught by Dr. Mendenhall might be really scary and intimidating, but they're just people just like you and I. They all have weird quirks, favorite things, hobbies. Dr. Smith, for instance, really loves Cajun cones. If you haven't tried Cajun cones, Dr. Smith and I would both highly recommend you go try them. Cade knows everything there is to know about photography, so if you have a photography question, he's the guy to go to. It's one time I dropped by Professor Pybus's office to ask a question about a common law research paper. And then I commented on his bobcat, and we talked about that, and we talked about hunting. And Professor Haley, you can call her Professor Haley, you can call her Joyce, not Mrs. Haley. She's probably cringing just hearing me say that. Nathan Gibbs just seems like one of the students in there just hanging out with the class. He just happens to be teaching it. Dr. Mendenhall, his door is always open. He's a great guy to go talk to about internships or classes or just life. And Dr. Bacon is not a dictator. She's not out to eat your lunch. She's not out to fail you or kick you out of school. She's just a normal person just like you and me. She even has a favorite Sonic drink. Write this down, Diet Coke with vanilla.